All right, good evening, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Welcome into Detroit Sports Talk. I'm Dennis Fithian, and there you see him, Sideshow Raj, joining us here on this Thursday. We are presented by CashToBitcoin.com. Raj, it's good to have you back, man. You were vacationing. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back. I was in Puerto Rico for a week, 80-degree weather, but I'm back. I'm back in the cold now. I'm back in the cold, but I'm happy to be here.
Would you pick to live in Puerto Rico or if you had the choice, where would you stay?
I would have my second home there. I would live there in the wintertime, and then I live here in the summer.
That sounds pretty nice. Are people nice to Americans down there?
Yeah, my friend I went down there with, he's Puerto Rican, so he helped out a lot with, as far as the language. Everybody doesn't speak English, so yeah, he was with his family, and they put out the red carpet for me. That's my second time going down there, so I enjoyed myself.
What do you mean the red carpet? Like, they're treating you like the Prince of Puerto Rico? The man from Michigan? What?
Yeah, they showed me love, man. Showed me around the island. I went to a wedding, a Catholic Puerto Rican wedding for the first time, and yeah, it was dope. Good weather. It was all around a fun, a nice experience.
Good, man. We're happy to have you back. And here is the man, Adrian Meyers, who's joining us as well. Merry Christmas, Adrian.
Merry Christmas. What's up, Raj?
What's good?
We have Penn State Pete, who's going to be joining us in a minute. We also, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we talk about Detroit sports, the latest and what's going on. This is our Christmas edition. Not a surprise there. We do have in the background St. Nick. He's here. And we'll take a look at our book, The Chapters, and they are brought to you by our title sponsor, CashToBitcoin.com. There's the book right there. And CashToBitcoin.com, if you're like me, you're like Raj down in Puerto Rico, you're like Adrian here in Michigan, you thought a lot about it, just like we all have, how to get involved in cryptocurrency. I'm here to tell you how to do it. You go to CashToBitcoin.com. There's lots to be excited about here this Christmas season. And CashToBitcoin.com, did you know that they're the official cryptocurrency of the Detroit Red Wings? That's right. CashToBitcoin.com, one of the fastest and largest growing crypto ATMs in Michigan. They have hundreds of locations in Michigan and beyond. Check out the map to find a crypto ATM near you at CashToBitcoin.com on Twitter. That's cash, the number 2, Bitcoin.com. Their ATMs and terminals offer safe and secure transactions, so get it going and check it out. It's CashToBitcoin.com. As we get ready to go, Adrian, what are you looking forward to as we take a look at that book?
I'm looking forward to the Pistons, most importantly. So.
All right, they are coming up in the second chapter, but our first chapter, as you can see right there, it is the Detroit Lions, and what we're doing is handing out Christmas gifts to the teams. And with that, we will bring on Penn State Pete Finelli, who is with us. Penn State Pete, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm not at home. I'm not at Penn State this week. I'm just drove up to Belmar, New Jersey, seeing some family for Christmas Eve.
Well, good. I'm glad you're not, sitting out there at the dorms in Happy Valley, day before Christmas Eve. That sounds good. So it's good to have you on. We're in the festive spirit here, and it's always nice to give out whether it's cyber gifts, fake gifts, or anything else. But with the Lions, there's a lot of different directions you can go. I'm going to kick this off with the Lions. If I could give a gift to head coach Dan Campbell, I would give him the gift of play calling specifically on fourth down. Make the correct decision, and when you do make the correct decision, make the right play call. I did a couple games ago, they're backed up. There's like in their own 35. It's like, all right, you only have a foot. They only had like this far to go. You sneak that one every single time. Instead, they went back there and they threw the ball and it was incomplete. That's not the way to go. So for Dan Campbell, I want to give him the decision of play calling and when to go for it on fourth down. Raj, what about you? What gift are you giving the Lions?
I want to give them the gift of a number one receiver. They have no clear-cut number one guy. St. Brown's coming along. He's coming along nicely, but he's still, even once he fully develops, I think he's going to be like a solid 2. Khalif Raymond more of a a slot guy, punt returner. So I'm gonna give them the gift of a number one receiver.
Don't let Rashidi hear you say that.
That's what I was gonna say. You better watch out, man. That's a hot topic here when you start talking about Lions and the number one receiver. You're right. Rashidi thinks that Amon-Ra St. Brown is number one. Well, Pete, you just talked. What gift are you sliding to the Lions?
Well, as now that it's changed after the win against the Cardinals last week, I'd like to gift the Lions with the number one overall pick in this next year's draft. I mean, now they're number 2, which, nothing too crazy, but just to be able to say that they can have that, I think that'd be a nice little Christmas gift for them. That and the termination of Jared Goff's contract. They're paying him a lot of money to suck.
Well, who's going to play quarterback for the Lions then next year?
It doesn't matter, but as long as they're not paying him millions and millions of dollars, it does not matter who plays quarterback for them.
They can save some money if they do end up cutting him and they bring somebody else in. But if you bring somebody else in, if it's a rookie quarterback, you have to have a bridge quarterback, so you're going to have to pay money to him. So I think it's a 99% chance that Jared Goff is going to be back. He might not be the starter for the whole year, but yeah, I know that's talked about. It's like you were piped in. I know that's all anybody talks about. Mm-hmm. It's usually all anybody talks about in Detroit. Adrian, I don't know. Is it possible if the Lions lose out? They need to have the tie is the part that ends up helping them maybe or hurting them, depending on if they win any more games. But, they're going to need help to get that number one pick now, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Well, Jacksonville and the Jets play Sunday, so I might actually watch that game. That's going to be a game of two of the worst teams in the league. But if it was me, I would say the Lions need to get a backup quarterback because Tim Boyle's not the answer at that. I thought Jared Goff was bad, but Jesus Christ, Tim Boyle is. I don't even know how he has a job in the league. But if I had to give him a gift, it would probably be Pete stole my thunder a little bit, so I was gonna say the number one pick, but I'm gonna go a number 2 corner behind. I can't say his last name properly, but it's
Oruwariye.
He's been a pleasant surprise for me. He was solid, but he's having a phenomenal season right now. He's their number 1 corner, and it's not Jeff Okudah. Even if he does come back, I don't think Jeff Okudah was worth the high draft pick he got. So maybe pair them with another corner, and then they'll be solid on the outside.
Hey Pete, do you know where Amani Oruwariye went to school?
I no idea.
Penn State.
Yeah, I probably should have guessed that.
And now Oruwariye got snubbed on the Pro Bowl. He got 6 picks right now. That's 3rd in the league.
Wow.
I'll tell you what, the pick he had against the Cardinals, I think I was watching SportsCenter. It ended up being their number 2 play. I don't remember what number 1 was, but as I was watching, that was a big-time play. That wasn't like, they just threw it right to him. Kyler Murray, he dove out there. He made a hell of a play, and he picked it up, went the other way. So that was impressive by Oruwariye.
They didn't even name him as an alternate. I think it's just the fact that he plays for the Lions. If he was playing for anybody else, I think he would have got the nod.
I absolutely agree with you there.
100%.
Well, just let him chill for a while people, beg out of the Pro Bowl. He'll end up getting a selection. Sure. But not that first one. It takes a little while before you get in there, and they just they start.
The league doesn't respect the Lions, so it just that's how it goes. So,
well, it's fan voting. That's the problem.
Yeah,
it's just big names, not who's actually doing the best every time.
That's where the fanboys don't know what they're doing. The real fans know who's good and who's not. So.
The league doesn't respect the Lions. No truer words have ever been spoken. There he is, Adrian, as we take you to the second chapter. And
before we roll into that, real quick, back on the Lions gift, I think we're all looking over the most obvious thing, and the thing for the Lions would be just the winning season for once in however many years.
It's been a few years.
Not next year, but maybe 2-3 years, maybe.
Was it 2016, 17? They went to the playoffs
17,
against the Seahawks.
17.
That was a brutal game where they didn't have a touchdown.
That
game sticks in my craw. I hated that one. So, yeah. You know what it is, Pete? It's not only, the winning seasons are okay. And now when you have 17 games, it's like, okay, you get your winning season. But it's about getting a home playoff game. This team, we've seen them even get to the playoffs, but they get to the playoffs and they're going to get beat. They have to go on a road as a wild card. Like if they were checking in, there's now 7 teams. Like if the Lions in a couple of years, they end up checking in and it seemed like their ceiling the last 20 or 30 years has been, the 6th seed. Now it's the 7th seed. So it's even got to do. They got to do even a little bit better than that. They need a home playoff game.
Oh, sure.
To be honest. All right, that does get us to the second chapter. That's right to Adrian here, who said he's looking forward the most to handing out a Christmas gift for the Detroit Pistons. So I don't know, a lot of different directions you can go if you're Santa Claus when it comes to the Pistons, who were able to get that number 1 pick last year. What do you want to give them this year?
I want to give them the gift of trading Jeremy Grant and getting some young established players along with maybe some draft picks, but not a high 20 pick, not 28, 29, 30. Get a guy who can help Cade right away, because Lord knows he needs some help right now. Maybe like a Cam Reddish from Atlanta who played well last night. Just a young player who's a little proven, but just needs a bigger opportunity. So they need to figure out what they're going to do with this franchise moving forward. Like I said, Jeremy Grant, I've said it weeks before, Jeremy Grant is not the number 1 player on your team. It's Cade. So he needs to go. It's a cheap contract. The Pistons, if Troy Weaver was smart, he would do that in a heartbeat.
He's trying. Raj, what kind of gift what kind of gift are you sliding to the red, white, and blue?
I need to give them a gift of a big man. They need a big man. I like beef stew, but they need like a more solid guy. I know Olynyk's been out with the injury, so maybe in the draft or something like that. I mean, they're all the way around bad. They need a lot of different gifts, honestly, but that is something that could help. And I might give them 2 gifts. Let's give Killian Hayes a shot as well.
You think he's the answer? You think he's the answer?
Killian Hayes, no. But if he had a shot, that'd make him and Cade that much better of a backcourt.
Pete, I know you're not I don't even know. Do you like the Sixers?
No, I don't follow too much basketball. I don't really know a whole lot, but I do know that our friend Rashidi, he really wants Magic Johnson running that organization. He's been on that multiple times this year.
Yeah, well, that's not happening. And if you look at NBADraft.net right now, Jabari Smith, who is 6'10", he's a power forward at Auburn. That would be that front court player that you're talking about, Raj, and he might be. I know Banchero from Duke. He could be the pick. Adrian, you're shaking your head. You're down on him right now?
Since Raj brought a good point up, and he made me think. Jabari Smith was the first name that came to mind. I watched him play a couple of times. He's super athletic. He can shoot, stretch the floor. He's not as big as Beef Stew, but he's going to give you some offensive firepower. So,
what about the toothpick Chet Holmgren?
No,
he's a center. No.
He scored 20 points once this year, and he's a 7-footer. So it doesn't do anything for me. So if we got Banchero, I'll be okay with that because that's an athletic wing guy. But no Chet Holmgren. That's too much of a project.
Here's David asking a question about the Lions that I don't know an answer to. Do we have an answer to do the Lions have any Pro Bowlers?
They have 4 guys as alternates.
Nice.
Was that Swift? Right. Was Swift one of them?
We got Hawkinson. We got guard Jackson. Fullback Jason Cab. I don't know how to say
Cabinda.
Cabinda, yeah.
Cabinda is our Pro Bowler. Jeez,
that's crazy.
Hawkinson's the first alternate. Then Jackson's a second. Fullback is third, and then you got Jalen Reeves-Maben, special teams 5th alternate.
Yeah, it's good. You know what? When you think about the Lions' offensive line, Jonah Jackson, the rest of them there from Ragnow, who was a number 1 pick. Of course, the 2 bookends were first-round picks as well. So now you're talking about, Jackson as an alternate Pro Bowl. If they can get that together, that is their path to success, is having a bulldozing front line. So that's out of that. I think that's the best news for the Lions. Yeah, for the Pistons, I'm going to give them a late round, a diamond in the rough. You see some of these teams that go through, getting the number 1 overall pick, but like Golden State, taking Draymond Green in the 2nd round, or if you had a second first-round pick, the Greek Freak, he was picked at 15. Things like that. It doesn't have to be the number 1 overall, but that's good, getting those selections too, but finding players elsewhere in the draft, like some of these teams as well. That's the gift that I want to send the Detroit Pistons.
Dickinson out of Michigan?
Well,
he's a little slow.
I think they might be able to get him in the second round. Like as things go right now, I don't think he would be in the first round. That jumper keeps dropping though, and he picks it up in the new year. I think he can work himself into the late first round.
That's what Troy Weaver was brought here for, though. So this is what we're counting on him for, to actually make good decisions, because we heard so much about him when he was in OKC when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and all the moves he made. So let's see what he's really made of. It's going to tell us a lot.
Well, the first sign was good with it's not like Sadiq Bey or Beef Stew. Those guys weren't top 10 picks, so he did a good job with those guys. They look like they could be nice role. I know last year I think people were getting a little bit out of hand, with Bey's like some monster or something, and he can be a nice complimentary player. I don't think you need to freak out. The guy from The Athletic who covers the Pistons, James Edwards, is calling him, he's Kawhi Leonard like. It's like, come on. Kawhi Leonard.
Would you guys be cool with the Pistons trading Jeremy Grant, some possible trade for Ben Simmons?
No.
Pistons can't fit Ben Simmons in. That $30 million contract. You'd have to cough up a couple more pieces, and it's just not working here. It just can't happen. Even if they were giving the Pistons could say, "Hey, we can pick any of the players to give you." It just doesn't work out. With having Simmons in here, it's a mess.
I don't trust his attitude, and we need somebody who can shoot the ball and put the ball in the bucket.
Yeah. Being from the Philly area, I know I've been hearing a decent bit about Simmons, and he's a problem on the court, off the court. As your organization's struggling, you don't want to bring in a guy like that.
The only way is if Cade Cunningham went into Troy Weaver's office and said, "You know what, man, this is my guy. We can do it. We could be the backcourt, give everything, and let's just roll us two, and let's go for it." I think at that point Weaver might take a harder look at it, but short of that, and I don't think that is happening. I'm not for it. No. You ready for it, Raj? You're just throwing it out there. You always like it. You like the big name trade. That's all I think.
I'm just throwing it out there, but no, it really doesn't make sense. They're the worst team in the league right now. He's already unhappy, disgruntled. He'd come here to be unhappier. So,
all right, let's take it to the ice, and it feels appropriate being here in Michigan, as cold as it was today, and we're giving Christmas gifts to the Detroit Red Wings. Put a hand up if you want to throw the Red Wings a gift. Where are we starting at?
I'll give them a gift. I'll start off.
All right, let's hear it.
Just a little. I did a little quick on-stream research, and I was just looking around. Right now, they're fourth in the Eastern Conference, and I noticed third place, Florida, their goal differential is 17, plus 17. Detroit's is minus 16. That's if I could give them the gift of somehow fixing that, there you go.
All right, goal differential. I will give the Red Wings the gift of the playoffs this year. It's been a few years. They're right there. They're fighting. And you know what? You could say it's a little bit too early for that. But you know what? If Lucas Raymond goes off and Moritz Seider and their goaltender, Nedeljkovic is, it could happen. And just getting there would be such an accomplishment for this team. I want to give the Detroit Red Wings the gift of the playoffs this year.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Dennis. Gifts of the playoffs. Because they went what? 25 years straight, I believe, of making the playoffs to now, what is it, like 6-7 years of no playoffs at all? So, yeah, that's exactly where I was going to go, the playoffs.
That's a good one.
Both of y'all stole my thunder. I was going to say the same thing, just pretty much to add on to that. I feel like if they need to do that, Dylan Larkin needs to play at the MVP level. I know he's leading the team in points, but I really need to continue to see the growth, especially in some of the younger guys, Raymond and stuff too. So just keep doing what he's doing. So I'm not asking for a lot, but just keep developing. And Steve Yzerman is doing it the right way.
Right now, I think they have the gift of being the most competent team in Detroit. Looking at the Lions, looking at the Pistons, at least they're doing something.
Yeah. Well, you're right. And in baseball, we don't even know if they're going to play. We're going to get to them in a moment. It's a Christmas shout out to MAT. Good to see him. He's somebody, fifth chapter. We recognize that name for over a year. So Merry Christmas out there on the feedback. That does get us to the fourth chapter. And before we do get to the fourth chapter, we want to thank our presenting sponsor, and that is cashtobitcoin.com. I'm going to steal, we didn't give Rob a chance to give his Christmas present out to the Lions, but I think we could all guess what that present would be under the tree for the Lions.
I think I know
Rob.
what it is.
Pete, do you know what it is?
I
think it's obvious. If it's not completely obvious to you, then you don't know.
I want to say something to do with Anzalone.
Well, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
It would have to be it's going to be centered around that. Whether you want him to, his a perm or something for Anzalone, a contract to bring him back, help. New contract. That would be it.
All right.
I'll say a perm, man. Like he needs a,
or some of these.
It would look good on him. I think it would look good. Let's go.
Anzalone Pro Bowl trip, maybe.
A Pro Bowl trip for Anzalone. All right, there you go, Rob. All right, that does get us to the Tigers. And Adrian, we're gonna start out there with you. Some gifts for the Tigers. There's, Pete mentioned it's the Red Wings right now that the excitement is around. At least there's an arrow pointing up. The Tigers, if they can get out there on the field, I do believe that they would have an arrow pointing up. They signed Eduardo Rodriguez, of course, Baez as well. So they are trying. This is no more like, hey, we're tanking it out. But what do you want to give the Detroit Tigers as a gift?
Well, I really want. They got a shortstop, but it's not the shortstop I wanted. I really wanted Carlos Correa. Astros been playing well, but they said he turned down the deal. Who knows? It hasn't been reported. I read something on it, but I would have rather had him than Baez just because he's a little more professional and he has the flash, but he also gets the job done. Baez has just been inconsistent. He's had a rough couple years in Chicago and it didn't work out well with the Mets. And then second thing I want to see is Spencer Torkelson come up and be a baller because I've heard so much about this kid. So hopefully he comes in and is the guy that the Tigers hope he can be. Because as we all know, their farm system is garbage when it comes to positional players, and everything is usually always pitching. So
a Christmas gift of torque on opening day at first base. Not bad. Raj, when it comes to the Detroit Tigers, what gift would you give them?
I want to give them the gift of a left-handed ace. Matt Boyd's not coming back. They do got Screwball. He's a lefty, but they don't have a left-handed ace, like just that dominant guy. So I would like to see the Tigers get a left-handed ace. That would be my gift to the Tigers.
I like that. And Pete, what would you throw the Detroit Tigers?
The Tigers probably the team I know the littlest about, so I'll take the easy bailout and I'll say a playoff run.
A playoff run wouldn't be bad. I was going to say meaningful games in September, which is right where you're at, Pete. I would like to see them play meaningful games in September. And if it wasn't going to be that, it was going to be something based around Torkelson and Riley Green, right for the start, to have some excitement about the team. But I'm with you. I want to see meaningful games in September. I say there's nothing like it, but it's exciting, to have your baseball team you get to September and your football, everybody takes the Tigers and moves them aside. It means, of course, the preceding months will have been pretty entertaining. And then you get to September and with a chance to make the postseason. That would be sweet. Speaking of the fifth chapter posters and people that watch this program, Beth is up there at the top. I would say is a top 5 for contributor, and there she is making the prediction about the Tigers not making the playoffs. And
well, that's why it's a Christmas gift. A little Christmas magic, Christmas miracle, get them to the postseason.
Yeah, I don't know who says bah humbug, but Beth, that was kind of a bah humbug post. It's kind of a Christmas spirit and everything. And you went out there and threw the Tigers a big lump of coal. Right at Alavila.
Is the MLB still on the lockout right now?
Yeah.
Still okay.
That might have been a nice present for the whole thing. Give the gift to Tigers actually to play ball, by opening day.
Hey, Pete, real quick, who's your MLB team?
I don't follow baseball at all.
No baseball, huh?
No,
you know what?
No
That's
Phillies,
it.
no Pirates, actually.
Doesn't interest me. I can't.
Young
watch
guy, he's the kids, man. The average baseball fan's 55. That's the age, man. So Adrian, that you like baseball so much, you're kind of a throwback,
Hey, I try to be different, I fell in love with it as a kid. So Ken Griffey Jr. is the reason why. So I think every kid my age is, love the kid with the beautiful swing. So
Raj, you like baseball though too, don't you?
Oh yeah, I love baseball. I fell in love with it because when I used to play pitcher. I mean, my elbows kind of messed up to this day from it, but yeah, I definitely I love baseball. It's probably, like a lot of people say, it's boring to watch, but it's one of the most funnest sports to play.
Yeah,
agree more.
Were you down there like getting the feelers on Javi Baez? When you were down in Puerto Rico, saying, "Hey, we got your guy, man." They love him in Puerto Rico, right?
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. I should have tried to connect the dots somehow.
I thought you were going to. I didn't want to steal your thunder. I thought for sure you're going to be going to Baez, but yeah, I do know when Puerto Rico they play the baseball classic or something. They people that have a little blowback because man they'd have so much fun, during that baseball classic, like doing cartwheels and jumping around and just going crazy. The fans going nuts down there. They love their baseball in Puerto Rico.
When I was in the airport on the way back here, I was actually watching the Puerto Rico versus Venezuela baseball game. So yeah,
two countries that love baseball, putting Venezuela coming over the top with them. All right, those are some good gifts. Who knew that the Tigers would be getting the best gifts? I thought that would be the one that we would struggle with the most, which gets us to the fifth chapter now. We've given all the teams the Christmas gifts. Now we're going to give you the gifts of cash with our selections, right? Is that what we're doing here?
That's the hope.
That is the hope. And Pete, we didn't have picks last week, right?
We did.
Or did we? Oh, I was out. I took off.
I took your picks down. They're all updated. Of course, I think Rob got kicked out of the stream, so I don't think he can throw up the current standings. But I tell you what, it's about as close as you can get. Coming up on playoff times in the NFL, we got some bowl games and the college football playoffs coming up. Right now, I'm at 19-21, and then Dennis, you and Adrian are tied at 20-20. So it doesn't get much.
We need a win. We don't want to fall below 500.
No, my Christmas wish is to end up on top of the rankings at the end of all this.
My Christmas wish is that off the top of his head, Raj is going to come up at some point at the end with an over and under to get things going in the swing of things. All right, Pete, let's roll them out there and see how we do.
All right, we got tonight's game, Thursday night football. 49ers at Titans. 49ers are holding -3.5. Adrian, we're going to start with you.
I'm going to go with San Francisco. They've been on the road, winning, I believe, 5 out of their last 6. Jimmy G's leading the league in pass most yards per attempt. Defense is playing well. Nick Bosa is going to get after the quarterback, and Ryan Tannehill has been terrible since Derrick Henry's been out the lineup. So you give me the 49ers and the points.
Let's go to Raj.
The 49ers are rolling right now. They got all the momentum. This game screams San Fran. So just on the strength of that, I'm going to go with the upset. Give me the Titans at home. It's going to be cold outside in Nashville. Give me the Titans in the upset.
Not bad. That half, that hook is what, I don't like. Fun fact, these are the two teams that I picked to go to the Super Bowl before the season, the Titans and 49ers. As we get in this game, no King Henry, but maybe he's coming back. And but I like San Francisco in this spot too. You know what? They know how to run. They're going to give Tennessee a little taste of their own medicine. They're going to run the ball down their throat, even though they don't have Elijah Mitchell.
Yeah, after Tennessee's poor performance last week against Pittsburgh, I mean, that game, they turned it over 3 times in 10 plays, I think it was. So I'm taking the 49ers here, and I'm taking them with the points.
Laying the points. I like Raj going with the outright win at home. I like it.
To follow that, we got a little Christmas football. Colts and the Cardinals. Cardinals are -1, so it's pretty much a money line right here. Let's go back to Adrian to start it off.
This game's been tough for me. I've been going back and forth with it. The Cardinals played terrible last week. So just for that, I'm gonna give them the win because they need a win badly right now. I know the Colts have been rolling. Shout out to Jonathan Taylor, who's on my fantasy team, by the way. But I'm gonna take the Cardinals here. Kyler Murray to have a bounce back game and win for the Cards on Christmas Day.
Yeah, Cardinals coming off back-to-back losses. They're back at home. Yeah, give me the Cardinals in that 1 point. I think they win by more than that. I like the Cardinals in this game.
Yeah, I agree. I think that most people look at this, and this is what most people do. They look at the last game and say, yeah, look at the Colts and how they played against New England. Look at how they played against the Patriots, and the freaking Cardinals lost to the Lions, but it's usually a desperation play is the way to go. I like the Cardinals as well. I think they'll win this game.
Well,
outright. I don't need the point.
I am those people because I'm looking at those games, and I'm liking the Colts for this one. So
that's all right. You could be with it. You might be right.
Gotta be different.
Gotta be Taylor all the way, baby.
I do like that, although the Cards statistically have a very good run defense, so could be tough. But Taylor might be the MVP. He goes out there and throws up, another $170 or something.
Me 5 touchdowns again.
Get out there and go for 200 yards or something and have the Colts with all those Pro Bowlers and Taylor. It can happen.
James Conner got named to the Pro Bowl as well.
He had a hell of a year.
Bounce back season.
All right, we got a good rematch coming up here. The Bills and the Pats. The wind is supposed to be a normal, so hopefully Mac Jones will throw it more than 3 times. Pats won the first time, of course. They're holding -2.5. 1 o'clock game. Adrian, what are your thoughts here?
I'm gonna go with the upset here. I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. They should have beat the Buccaneers a few weeks ago. They need to get a good win, a nice win, and get over the hump because the Patriots have their number right now. So I expect Josh Allen to play well. They don't have a semblance of a run game, but give me Buffalo in the upset. Diggs will have 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, I like Buffalo in this game as well. I think they still got a bad taste in their mouth from that Monday night loss to New England. I think they really want to beat them in this game. I know they lose this game as far as the season and for the playoffs. I think they're going to be hungry. They're going to be ready. Give me the Bills in this game.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. You know what? Sean McDermott, he had enough of hearing about how Bill Belichick is out coaching them and he's the mastermind. I think if they have any semblance of doing anything, I mean, this is a team that was supposed to compete with Kansas City to go to the Super Bowl. And, here they are getting a run off the field by the Pats and Belichick doing it. If you have more talent, you get beat, and it's coaching. Nothing hurts you more as a fan base or that. I think the Bills bounce back here. I like the Bills.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about Diggs probably being shadowed by J.C. Jackson, but you know what? We're gonna clean sweep this. I'm taking the Bills too. All right, moving on. Got the Lions game finally. Going back to chapter 1. They're playing the Falcons. Now, of course, if you're a big fan of this show, you'll know that a few, 6 or 7 weeks back, I put down a $10 free bet that this would be the Lions' first win of the season. Of course, they've won 2 since then, which nobody expected. So that's long gone, but we'll see. Maybe they'll pick up win number 3. Adrian, what are your thoughts? The Falcons are -6 for this one.
Well, I can't stand Matt Ryan. He's an awful quarterback, but Jesus, how can I pick against him when he's going against Tim Boyle? Because I believe Goff is on the COVID list, so I don't think he's going to play. So you give me the Falcons in a rout.
Yeah. When I was in Puerto Rico on Sunday, we were all out for dinner Sunday night. I said, let me check my phone and see how much the Lions lost by. Let me check my app and look at the score of the game. And I see that they won 30-12. I was so shocked. I couldn't believe it. I started telling everybody at the table, like, wow, look at this. But I don't think they're going to win this game. I think the Falcons are going to win this game big. I know the Falcons aren't out of the playoff hunt just yet. They need this game. So give me the Falcons in a point.
It's a nasty game, but I mean, trying to come back and say that the Lions are building something here. I'm not ready to go that far. It was a huge shocker last week, but I feel like Cordell Patterson, is going to score 4 touchdowns on the Lions, and they're going to lose.
So.
They're going to lose by double-digit points. Pete, what you need to do, if you really thought the Lions were going to win this one, you need to hit that money line and say you're picking the Lions.
Well, now Goff's probably not going to play, so that's a whole nother story. This was 7 weeks ago. I figured.
Good point.
I mean, yeah, for this game, I have the Falcons. That bet's long gone. Jared Goff isn't playing most likely, so I'm taking the Falcons too. Bit of a bummer, but
what's up with the Boyle thing? Why don't they give Blau a look?
That's a good question. He's better than Boyle. Boyle shouldn't even be in the league.
We'll see. All right, and then the last game is perhaps the worst game that we'll see all season. The Tank Bowl between the Jaguars and the Jets. There's no spread for this game. It's strictly money line. It's dead even. So all you gotta do is pick the team you think is gonna win.
Pick your poison. Imagine betting on this game. Adrian earlier, I believe, said he wanted to watch this one. Let's go, Adrian. Let's go with you here.
All right.
Is this an extended bowl game?
Just because Darrell Bevell is coaching the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm going to take the Jacksonville Jaguars to win a close one by 3. The Jets are starting the most rookies in the NFL, played the most rookies in the NFL this season. They got a lot of rookie corners, so I think Trevor Lawrence will finally play good and get the Jacksonville Jaguars to a win and hopefully help the Lions get this number 1 pick back.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. We want the Jags. We're all over Jacksonville here. We don't have, and look we don't have to root for the ex-Ohio State coach. We just go over there with Bevel, like you said. I'm all over the Jags here too. Plus, it would just be so nice here to have the Lions pull back in there after their surprising win. They could be right back in there and control their own destiny. Let's go, man. I'm with the Jags too.
What you got, Raj?
I mean, this is pretty much like another bowl game. This
pretty
is
much.
Toilet bowl here. But I'm gonna go against the grain here. I'm gonna go with the Jets. They're the home team. Somebody has to win this game. They're gonna be outside New York. It's gonna be cold. Just give me the Jets, I guess.
This is one of those terrible games that you go, all right, the loser of this game gets replaced by the winner of the college football playoffs, and they just swap. That's just how bad these teams have been this year. But I'm going to take the Jaguars for this one. No more Urban Meyer. Hopefully James Robinson will continue to build off of last season. And I don't think I can sit through this game, but I'll check the final score for this.
Look at Pete wanting Michigan to go to the NFL. How about that?
We'll see.
All right, guys. I give you guys all the Christmas gift of love and happiness for your families on this Christmas. It's awesome to have you all here. We're looking forward to some exciting things in 2022. So have a blessed weekend. Enjoy all this football and great job today, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right.
There you go, Adrian. Tell everybody Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Stay safe.